So, you are really good at selling your offer, but could that be the reason why your delivery feels so hard and heavy and unscalable? Well, we're going to get into it in this video. So the problem is your best sales calls might just be creating your most expensive backend problems, client churn and refund requests, and clients just overall being a hot mess to handle, to deliver, to exceed expectations. They come in with wildly egregious expectations that you're like, where in the world did these come from? Well, I want to get into all of that in this video and how that works. So let's back up. This is what we've been taught for the last decade of the online business space. Create the most compelling pitch. Have the strongest objection handling. Make sure you know what to say after every single objection that comes up. And get the yes the fastest. Simple as that. And I don't want to make that seem I don't want to make that seem undercomplicated or oversimplified. But the truth is, we've spent the last decade perfecting the close, perfecting how to sell, perfecting how to get the yes. But we've spent no time even attempting to perfect how to not only deliver on what we promised, because I think that's just the first part of it, but under promise so that we can over deliver while still creating an appealing enough offer to get people, the right people, to say yes. But under promising so that we can over deliver and then use that over delivery strategically to then incentivize a greater client lifetime value with more upsells, more referrals, getting clients to stay longer, etc. We've molded this idea of delivery into what is the most that we can promise without sounding like we're insane because it seems so crazy, and then trying to figure out a way to slightly inch closer over time to maybe, just maybe, theoretically hitting that level of delivery, all the while we know that what we're actually doing at scale isn't hitting that delivery. And if there's anybody watching this now who's like, yo, listen, I'm okay with how my sales are going right now. My clients aren't getting results at scale. Most of the clients come into my program or we're under delivering on, but that's not what's going to drive revenue. Like if that's where you're sitting right now, if that's your belief, that is okay. That is all good. Video is not for you. I'm not for you. Swipe on past. But now that it is just us, the truth is that the client success can be a huge, huge center for profit, because every upsell, every continuation, every referral that closes comes in with zero customer acquisition cost, no cost in marketing, no cost in ads, no cost in branding, no cost in sales reps, nothing. And it comes in as someone, that revenue comes in as someone who is way higher quality, way easier to maintain, way easier to underpromise, overdeliver on at scale than somebody who comes in on a promise that you may or may not be able to hit. So regardless of how much of that you resonate with or not, let this either be a reminder to you to focus on optimizing for the back end, or let this be an introduction to the world of optimizing for the back end and increasing your profit through back end. And if that's the case, hi, my name's Bradley. Welcome to the channel. But before I go off on more of a tirade, that's what we've been taught to optimize for. So the problem is what happens after the yes, because everything that happens after the yes, again, is very under-designed in the industry right now. In the industry, I mean coaching, consulting, SaaS, service-based online business. So what was implied on the sales call, and the word implied is there for a reason. This is not what was promised. This is not what was said. This is what was implied. Because you and I both know when you imply here, but what you say, what's in the agreement, what is in writing is here. The client's going to expect this. They agree to this. They're expecting this. Just the reality. We all know it's the case. So the gap isn't actually between what you said you would deliver and what you actually deliver. The gap is between what you implied that you would deliver and what you actually deliver. And again, it's everything that happens after the yes. So what makes that gap even wider? Broken it down to a couple different language patterns, and there's so many more, but these are the four most common that I see. Saying things like guaranteed results. Think about what this implies. Again, guaranteed results is the saying, is the phrasing, is the thing that's in the agreement. But what does that imply? If I'm client, I'm sitting here thinking, hearing somebody say to me, guaranteed results, with that little lilts in their voice and the little smirk, thinking, yeah, it's so easy. What I'm thinking is, I don't have to lift a finger. I don't even need to do anything. It's the best passive investment of my life. I'm forking over 10, 20, 30 grand, and I'm getting, I don't need to do anything. I'm getting this huge return and this huge, all these things back. Amazing. Let's do it. But you and I both know there's a crap ton of stuff they have to do in the offer, on the back end, in their own delivery to make sure that they get the outcome. And it doesn't matter what comes after you say guaranteed results. You can say it's guaranteed results so long as you do ... and you do and this happens and you all these things. It doesn't matter. They hear guaranteed results. Second thing, it's plug and play. It's easy. You do this, you get that. There's no extra things you need to do. There's also no turbulence along the way. So if I'm a client, I'm hearing, oh, it's plug and play. It's easy. It's leading indicator, lagging indicator, result, done, effort, outcome, easy. I'm hearing no friction. I'm hearing no turbulence. I'm hearing couldn't be an easy. Why aren't other people doing this? It's so easy. But you and I both know that's not the case. If I'm hearing you'll definitely hit it, definitely hit X outcome, make this amount of money, lose this amount of weight, feel this way about your partner, get this huge organizational transformation in your business within 4 weeks, within 4 months, within a year. What I'm hearing is no matter what comes up, no matter what happens, anything, the sky could fall tomorrow and I'm still going to get this. So I don't actually need to worry. I don't actually need to put in the effort. Cool. Let's do it. Done. That's not the case. And if I'm hearing, we do it all for you. Again, this is just kind of all of these sins put together into one. We do it all for you. It's easy. Again, I'm thinking, cool. I'm going to sit back, sip in my Thai, and life is good. Not the case. Every one of these things that you say, and I've actually been on some sales calls where I'm being sold, but also when I'm consulting on a sales call, listening to a sales call recording, helping a sales team, they say all of these things. And it's just like, oh my God. All of these things widen the gap. They make it so hard to over-deliver for a client. Over-delivering is the only way, systematically over-delivering. I like to say scalably and systematically over-delivering, which means no matter how many clients and without extra human involvement per client, scalably and systematically over-delivering is the only way to increase client LTV. Like that is what I do in a nutshell. That is my entire job description. That is it. Mic drop. Thesis. Done. TED Talk. That is it. So all the levers that we have, if we really want to break it down and keep it really simple, the levers that we have is where we place the promise and what we can systematically and scalably deliver. And moving those two levers. That's it. How wide can we make that? The problem, though, becomes when people promise up here but then deliver down here. Where it gets really fun, where the math is really awesome, is when you promise here and you can deliver here or here or here or here. Because then it gives you so much more leverage to get referrals, testimonials, ascensions, continuations, all those things, which increase client LTV, which make it way easier for you to scale instead of always needing to stay on the hamster wheel of getting more clients to increase your revenue. More clients is not the answer. So that's the gap. Becomes a really big problem. And again, what is the cost of that? If you're lucky and you have that gap, a client is simply going to measure everything against an unrealistic benchmark. This is what happens in most offers. And they measure it in their mind against that unrealistic benchmark based on what you implied on the sales call. And you're never going to hit that because A, you don't even know what they're thinking. And B, what they are thinking is not at all what you said. So it's like, why would I need to deliver that? I never said that. You're never going to over-deliver. They're never going to upsell. They're never going to continue. And you have to go back to finding more clients to increase your revenue. If you're kind of sort of unlucky, nothing you deliver will close it. You could literally, like their expectations could be so high, you could literally move in with them, build their business, eat the way they need to eat, have the talks they need to have with their partner, whatever your offer is, and you could do it for them, it still wouldn't be enough because their expectations are still just that high. And if it's the worst case scenario, we get a refund, we get a chargeback, we get a negative review, we get a person screaming at 2 a.m. in the morning in a Facebook group for other people who do what you do. Like it becomes a way bigger problem than it needs to be. And again, this is not under-delivering. This is delivering against the wrong benchmark because you are unintentionally setting a benchmark that you cannot hit at scale. So how do you close the gap? This is how you create an offer that you can systematically over-deliver on every time. The who, you have to be specific. And this is not a branding or niche avatar class 101. We all know how to do this. This one's the easiest of all of them, but you have to be really, really granular. The outcome. What have you delivered before for the average client? Not, oh, our best client did this. Our best client lost 30 pounds in 2 months and you can do the same. Or our best client, the one you saw in all the testimonial videos, she made 16 grand in her first 2 weeks because we just did these little things and it was amazing and she started her system from nothing. Blah, blah. No. What does the average client achieve that is still an attractive enough number or still an attractive enough outcome to entertain a conversation with you and the prospect? That is what you need to figure out. The mechanism, what they actually do, how it's actually done. It's not, oh yeah, you use our proprietary system and you do blah, 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 and you make it sound all fancy and blah, blah, blah. It's simple. It's here's what it is. Here's what the system does. Here's how we work. Here's how it works with you. Here's how it works for you. You're breaking it down. You're not making it so everybody thinks when they create an offer. I love it when all these people are like, oh, it's a this IP and all these things, and that, like, they make it sound like this like new novel fancy thing. But the problem is it hypes it up in the person's mind that it makes them feel like it's like, oh, well, I've never heard of this before. This must be so fantastic. It's so new and shiny and amazing. And oh my gosh, it's going to solve all my problems. It's like, no, we're human, first off. Second off, this is not a magic pill. This is not magic beans. This is not magic whatever. Here's how it works systematically. Let's do it. Simple as that. The time frame. The honest time frame, not a compressed time frame. Not a, oh, our best client Cindy did this in 2 weeks and da-da-da-da. I don't see any reason why with where you're starting from, you couldn't do it in 3. No, it's like, these are the average stats of our program. And if you don't have good enough average stats of your program or your offer to make that a compelling enough reason for people to get in, yeah, enough said. And the last is their responsibilities, what they have to bring to the table. You have to do this. You have to show up to these things. You have to act in this way. It's not only what they need to do, it's how they need to act, how they need to behave, how they need to think, especially with B2C, how they need to think about what they're feeling, how they are managing themselves, emotional regulation. You are qualifying for emotional regulation. In B2C, you qualify for emotional regulation. In B2B, you qualify for logical justification. You need to make sure that they have the right thought process and maturity to balance and to be able to manage whatever feelings or whatever issues come up along the way, because there will be issues and there will be big feelings come up. And you need to make sure that they are equipped, or either equip them with the tools to be able to handle that so that they do not become a nightmare for you to deliver on. So what does all this produce? Instead of closing from excitement, which is a fast yes, it's a really high ceiling to hit, it's the widest gap, you close from what you can over deliver on. The right client, a realistic ceiling, and there's no gap to manage. And the second column is going to close fewer bad clients and far more good ones. I made a YouTube video the other day going over 2 different people can be closing the same amount of revenue with very different front-end processes. Person A can be closing 10 clients at 10K each for 100K, and their life could be a mess because every one of those clients is coming in expecting the world and not getting it, and then half the people ask for refunds and the other half are just shit clients to work with, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is just, it's a mess and it's overwhelming. Person B, because they know who they're going after, they know how to create an offer that is attractive enough, yet also balances a systematic under-promising and over-delivering of their offer. They close 5 people, also at 10K, same offer price point, same whatever. They close 5 people, but, so right off the bat, half of the work and delivery, but then 2 of those people are going to upsell into a twice as high of a margin back-end offer because they had such a great experience, and another one of those people is going to bring you a referral for somebody who's going to close on the front-end offer for 0 customer acquisition cost. All of that, you're making the same 100K, give or take, rough math. You're making the same 100K for a way lighter client experience, but also client delivery, way easier to maintain relationship between you and your business. So the goal is not more revenue, it's more quality revenue. So when the promise matches delivery, the client expectations are met and exceeded because you place the expectations where they should be. You don't let them go and be wherever they are. Client does the work and get results. The results have referrals, renewals, and upsells, and LTV compounds without more ad spend. Simple as that. So here's your 3 questions, your 3 challenges. 1, does your promise have all 5 components? 2, outcome, mechanism, time frame, responsibilities. 2, would your delivery team win at anything you said on your last sales call? It's an honest question. And 3, could you describe the gap between what you promise and what you deliver, or more likely, unfortunately, if you're watching this, what you deliver and what you promise? Could you describe that gap in 1 sentence? And if any of those is uncomfortable to answer or think about, that is where you should start. So if you would like a fully personalized breakdown audit of the back end of your business to tell you exactly where you can be making more profit from every single client you close, comment the word audit below, and I will personally create that breakdown for you, send it your way, and hope it helps. And I'll see you in the next one.